Good afternoon. I am sorry I'm late. I have had one of those days. In fact, at about 1 o'clock, I thought, I'm going to have to cancel Five on Friday today. It's not going to happen. I have really just had one of those days, maybe one of those weeks. It's Story Arts Festival this week, which is being held out at Ipswich, and there's been fabulous authors and illustrators, book creators up at Ipswich all week, in Ipswich City and at Woodlands and Marburg, working with young people. We've had I think 5,500 kids go through the school program, and the family program has been held each afternoon at Ipswich Library and various other venues around Ipswich. I've spoken to a few of the events. It's been really, really fantastic. And last night we had a great dinner and a performance by Vhalanga Kosa, African storyteller and author. And you could see on my you'll see a little further down on my Facebook page, I did a Facebook Live with Vhalanga Kosa, getting all of the authors and illustrators up onto the stage and doing an impromptu song. It was absolutely beautiful. Yes, Anna, you've done such a lot of work up there at Ipswich this week, and I'm really sorry we didn't get to chat more last night. And then today, I've got, one of my dearest friends ended up in hospital last night, and I was trying to be, she's been incredibly good to me. Her and her whole family have been incredibly good to me since Dan has passed away. So I was, trying to be really selfless and make it about her this morning. She ended up in hospital. She's still in hospital. And so on my way into the city to deal with a bit more death paperwork, I decided I would stop at the Wesley Hospital and I would say hello to her. And, I never have time to do these things. So I was like, yep, I am so going to do that. She does so much for me and I never get up there when she's in hospital. Anyway, I somehow managed to make it, once again, all about me and my dramas. As I got off the train at Auckland Flower train station and walked up the hill to the Wesley Hospital, for those of you who are from Brisbane, you will know that walk well. A Christmas beetle flew into my eye. I'd literally just taken off my sunglasses and a Christmas beetle flew into my left eye. It just instantly started weeping. I had to get the Christmas beetle off my bloody eye. It was horrific. And it looked like I was crying. My eye just went red and it was just weeping, and then my nose started weeping. So I walked into the front door of the Wesley Hospital. I had to get a napkin and kind of wipe the tears from the Christmas beetle that had flown into my eye away from my face. And a lady came up to me. She obviously thought I was really distressed, and she put her arm around me. And for those of you who know me well, I'm not into hugs. And she's like, "Are you okay? Do you need any help?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, a beetle's just flown into my eye. I'm actually okay." And I was trying to explain to her that I wasn't distressed, and then I had to go into the toilet and fix up my face, and then I had to go into ICU, and I was too early for visiting hours, but they obviously took pity on this lady who was crying about her friend in ICU. And then when I went into my friend in ICU, eventually, we were chatting, and eventually a nurse came in and I was telling him the story of the Christmas beetle that flew into my eye. And he was like, "Yeah, I thought you were crying when you came in." And I was like, "I wasn't crying. A Christmas beetle flew into my eye because that is my actual life." So I'm so sorry, dear friend. I somehow made this morning, when it was meant to be about you, I somehow, once again, made it about all of my dramas. And then I had to go into the city to deal with more death paperwork. It appears the bank still can't take Dan's name off some of the accounts. And it was just really stressful. And at one point, the financial guy dealing with Dan's estate and all of the death paperwork, he said, "Are you taking all of this in?" I said, I'm really trying. I said, "I'm really, really trying." And when I left, he actually followed me downstairs. He said, "Are you sure you're okay?" I said, "I'm absolutely fine. I just don't understand numbers." And he said, "Yeah, you were counting on your fingers at one point." I just thought, I just don't like numbers. I'm much happier with words. Anyway, I am here to talk not about the dramas of my life, but about my 5 favourite books of the week. And they're really, really, really brightly coloured, fabulous ones. So I'm actually really pleased after the day I've had with the Christmas beetle flying into my eye, practically blinding me. How do I get eye drops? I think I might have scratched my retina. I'm injured from the Christmas beetle. I'm pleased I've got some great books to show you. I'm holding something in my hand. I don't know if you can see them. Does anybody know what these are? You used to attach them to your bike. Oh, children of the 80s. Does anyone know what they are? They're talked about in this book, so I won't, I can't see the comments there. I won't tell you just yet. Yes, Anna, thank you for feeling sad about my eye. Anyway, you used to attach these to your bikes if you grew up in the 80s, and dear friends of mine gave Chickpea some of those for her birthday this year. So the first book I'm talking about is My Folks Grew Up in the 80s by Beck and Robin Finer, who I just adore their artwork. I have followed them online for ages. Wait for the end, papers. Hello. They are magnificent. That pink is pretty much my favourite pink, as you can probably tell from, I don't know if you can really see it on this. I've got my pink strip in my hair, and when it starts, when my divine hairdresser has first done my pink strip, it is literally this colour. And occasionally I've stopped at shops after I've just been to Maria, my hairdresser, and people are like, there's a really fluorescent pink in your hair. I'm like, yes, it is just how I want it. So next time I get it done, I'm going to take a photo with these end papers just to prove that that's the colour. That is my favourite pink, people. This is a brilliant book for anybody around my age who now has children. It's about parents growing up in the 80s and what a really bizarre time it was. And gosh, it really was, wasn't it? You know, we used to use crimpers. We used to think zigzag hair was a cool thing. I like this. This is probably my favourite page. In the 80s, Mum said you'd record your favourite music on cassette tapes. The tape was always unravelling, so you'd have to get a pencil to wind it all back in. That was my actual life. And at one stage, maybe this was more 90s, but it was definitely still tape. I had Darryl Braithwaite's Horses. Do not judge me, okay, people, but I had that just going over and over and over on loop on a cassette tape, and I just thought I was the best ever. It's fabulous. I did not do this. I did not do the boombox laying on the cardboard thing, but I watched lots of the boys at school do this. Everyone in Australia had a phone book. Oh, yes, oh my gosh. I love this page because, yes, we did have a phone book. And also, yes, I had to ring my friends while attached to the phone so my parents and my younger siblings could hear everything that I was talking about. And, yes, I had a Jaffle maker like that. In fact, I was just thinking about the Jaffle maker the other day. This was probably more my mum's age group was wearing this aerobics gear. I would like to think I didn't. Hello, these are the Spokey Dokes. Look, look at this. Chickpea has her own Spokey Dokes. Kids in the 80s would attach little plastic balls to the wheel of their bikes, which would click and clack as they rode, but no one could tell me why. I don't know what purpose they serve. They're just kind of fun. And we also had, videos. And I always had fines at the local video store. My brothers used to walk or ride their bikes to whichever video store we didn't have fines at, and we would get those at. John's Food Store eventually closed down, which is probably the only reason we never had to pay the outstanding fines. Computers with no internet, fabulous. Where's my other fave page? Perfect match. Hypercolour t-shirts. Oh yeah. I actually wasn't allowed a hypercolour t-shirt. I think my mother thought they were a little bit, I'm not sure. My grandmother made a lot of my clothes. I wore a lot of Liberty in the 80s, but all of the cool people were wearing hypercolour t-shirts and hypercolour undies, and they were really just a bad idea because, like, you'd get the sweat marks under your arms but yeah, they were just the best thing, and I desperately wanted a hypercolour t-shirt, and I never did get one. Anyway, it's a fabulous book. I just love it. You know what I really liked about it? Often when we have books which reflect on our childhood, and our children love to hear about your childhood as a parent, but often the books are very, they're charming and they're whimsical and they're, a trip down memory lane, and they're just charming. It's the only word I can think of. This one's just really funny. I really liked it. I like telling the girls, obviously because he's passed away now, but I like to tell the girls about things that I remember from Dan's childhood or that his mother tells me about his childhood. This, for me, brought back so many memories of things that I could talk to them about, like Spokey Dokes and like Dan had a hypercolour t-shirt. And I know his sister, hi, Amy, if you're watching this. I know Amy will adore this book. She is a few years older than Dan and I, and she is absolutely a child of the 80s, and I think I'm going to give this book her son for Christmas. Well, not this copy because this is firmly Chickpea's copy. But yeah, she's an absolute child of the 80s and just really embraces everything 80s. So Amy, if you ever watch this, sorry for outing you as an 80s fan, but I feel like this book was pretty much written for you. It is brilliant. It's brilliantly designed. I just love it. Oh, I just noticed there's a troll on the back. It's wonderful. Okay, speaking of wonderful and a trip down memory lane, oh my gosh. So, Thelma the Unicorn, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's probably not a household with children in Australia that doesn't have Thelma the Unicorn by Aaron Blabey. It would be fair to say that Chickpea was completely obsessed with Thelma the Unicorn. She had a Thelma the Unicorn birthday party. Her bedroom was Thelma the Unicorn themed at one stage. I spent a lot of time finding sheets and pillowcases and a bedspread that was Thelma the Unicorn pink. She didn't want unicorns. I know unicorns are a thing, or big department stores like Kmart and all the cheap places. She didn't want that. She wanted Thelma the Unicorn. And, as the book got really, really popular, it was great because there was a lot of merchandise that came out, and she's got the plush toy, and she's got the hat, and she's got the little book, and, she was heavily into Thelma the Unicorn. And so I was absolutely, completely touched when one of the people that works with Aaron Blabey contacted me on Instagram, I think it was, and was like, we think we'll send Chickpea a copy of the new Thelma the Unicorn book. And I was beside myself. So I gave them my address, it arrived in the mail, and it had her name on the front of the envelope. So she opened it up in the garage. She was just beside herself. She was shrieking and screaming. And Aaron Blabey has signed it. Look at that. Oh, hello. Yes, love Aaron Blabey. She was just beside herself. She took to school, she's shown all of her friends. It is the return of Thelma the Unicorn, and it is a particularly sparkly cover. She loved the story. I think the other connection to our family is that my grandmother's name is Thelma, and Nan's 91 now, and she absolutely hates Thelma the Unicorn. She used to sit there really cranky when he would read it to her, and we would all giggle because she always used to say she didn't really like her name, Thelma. I think it's a great name. Hasn't really made a comeback like other names have, but, embrace it, I say, Nan. You're 91, enjoy it. But I absolutely love Return of Thelma the Unicorn. There was never any doubt. Look, the naysayers might be like, oh, Aaron Blabey had to do that because Thelma the Unicorn was such a success, there had to be a follow-up. But in fact, he's better than that. He didn't need to do this follow-up. We already know he's brilliant. And in my mind, there was no doubt that this would be just as brilliant as Thelma the Unicorn. And in fact, I think maybe I like it a little bit better. So in this one, Thelma the Unicorn is feeling a little bit shocked. Everybody's really missing. So in the last book, you might remember Thelma decided that she didn't really want to be a glittery unicorn anymore, and she went back to being a pony. But everybody's really missing her, and she's feeling kind of guilty because, fans are wailing and crying. Why did you leave us? Why? Because she just kind of disappeared. And Thelma's best friend, who you may remember is the donkey Otis, he's like, dude, they really miss you. I feel like maybe you should do a comeback tour. And she says, no, I don't want to be phony. And he's like, you're not phony, you're the best. And what they miss is you. You made people happy. They felt cheerful for a while. Who cares if it's a costume? Thelma, you made people smile. And he's just like, you know what? There's nothing wrong with make-believe. And this time I'm going to be by your side. And so, da-da-da, they hit the road and they make a comeback. The unicorn was back. And yeah, fans go berserk, and there's "We Love Thelma" signs everywhere. She's like a rock star. I mean, Thelma is a rock star. Her fabulousness exploded like a joyful glitter bomb while Otis cheered her from the wings. Girl, get your sparkle on. I love Otis. It's just fabulous. It's really great. She changes lives. She raises money for charities. But they have days off this time. There's a bit of balance, and I think that's a really nice message. We can be fabulous, and we can spread our glittery wonderfulness around the world and spread our love. But, you can also have days off. And this time she learns to shake her haters off as well. So, there's a little bit of a nice message in there. And I love this final sentence. The world may not be perfect. Yes, a rose may have its thorns, but one thing is for certain, the world needs unicorns. What a great message. I love Thelma. She is like no other unicorn I've met before, and I just adore her. So, Aaron Blabey, thank you for returning Thelma the Unicorn to us. I just adore this. And Chickpea was beside herself to get a signed copy. So, very big thanks for that. Next up, I have got a really, really beautiful, well, this is sort of a series. I've only got 2 with me this afternoon because I didn't have time to drive into work due to the Christmas beetle incident to get my other copies to show you, but I love this series by Greg Drace. So the latest one is Cunning Crow, and some of you might also remember Cuckoo Kookaburra, and what else have we got? I can't remember the names of them all. Silly Birds and Mad Magpie. And this is a fabulous series of books which reinterpret creation stories, and they're just amazing. Greg Drace is a Gamilaroi man, I think. Gamilaroi man. Oh my gosh, this is dreadful. I don't know where he's from. I know where he's from because my friend Des Crump is also Gamilaroi. He's a Gamilaroi man from southeast Queensland. He's actually been up at the Story Arts Festival all this week working with children. He is just the most amazing Indigenous performer, storyteller, artist. He travels around Australia with his didgeridoo and his clapsticks and, you know, just he entertains, he educates. He's all of the good things that we want. He's an ambassador for the Indigenous Literacy Foundation, and I just really, really deeply appreciate the time that he has taken to modernise, I guess, some of these Indigenous stories for a younger generation and make them incredibly accessible and wonderful. They're really great moral stories. They've always got a very good message in them. What else have I said? They're a modern interpretation of a creation story. They are handing down of cultural learnings, and they're really wonderful, but they're for this new generation of kids that they expect good storytelling, they expect a beautifully put together book, and these books are. So in this one is the story of basically how the birds got their colours, and it's about how way back when, before once upon a time, there was a dream time when all of the birds were white, including one, the Cunning Crow, and then a rainbow comes down one night after a lightning and thunderbolt. And the birds go through the rainbow and they get their stunning colours. You can see that the illustration's just next level. And the birds are all really, really, really happy with their colours, and they admired Juan's feathers as well. And Dinawa told him how great he looked. Dinawa is the emu. But the Cunning Crow just wasn't happy. He was envious. He wanted to be something better than everybody else. He couldn't accept what he'd been given. He wanted more. There's a lesson in there. The tweens who always want more. Not that I'm having any issues with that in my own house at the moment. And so he comes up with a plan to get more. And I won't give away what then happens, but it does not go to plan. And he learns a lesson and he ends up being black and just the one colour. And he reminds us to be proud of who we are and our differences. And we should always remember that we are all beautiful and that true beauty comes from within. I love that it's this kind of celebration of all of the colours of all of the birds in Australia. And just as I was thinking about this book this afternoon, there was rainbow lorikeets outside my kitchen window, which of course are fabulously coloured and they make, you know, this hilarious noise. And I was listening to them and looking at them and thinking, you know, we have such an amazing bird life in Australia and they are all so different. And I feel like Greg's books encourage us to celebrate the difference in us all, but for us to all come together. His books are for everyone. They are stories that just need to be read and reread. They act as almost a moral compass with your own children at home, and they're great ones to study in school within the context of, you know, what are your local Indigenous stories? What are your local Indigenous languages? And it's International Year of Indigenous Languages this year. And the State Library of Queensland has some fabulous some fabulous resources put together by Des Crump, an Indigenous friend of mine, which, you know, are just great. And I think that it's really important that we celebrate our local Indigenous stories. And for us anyway, these ones by Greg Drace are just, you know, they're wonderful. I adore them. I've used them so much with about grade 2 to grade 5, but yeah, they're great ones to have at home as well. Great ones to add to the bookshelf to really start some discussions about moral issues in your own home. Now, moving up a little bit higher, this series is a new one which I feel quite not qualified to review, and I did try to pass them on to my teaching partner, Jackie Child of Tinkering Child. I'm not sure if she's still on there, but Jackie Child, my teaching partner, has a wonderful blog called Tinkering Child, and she's considered one of Australia's, you know, kind of really leaders in the whole makerspace movement. And I know that when she does finally read and review these books to me, that she will absolutely love them. I've read 3 of them. There is now 4 in the series. I didn't have time today to read the 4th one due to the Christmas Beetle incident. Do I keep going on about it? But they are by Alex Miles, and they've been done in conjunction with the Girl Geek Academy, which is an Australian-based movement started by 5 women, tech women, which encourages women all around the world to be leaders in tech and have jobs in tech and in coding and in gaming, and, you know, have a lot of fun in the process. And they came up with this idea for a series of books, and they've then worked with Alex Miles, who wrote the Zach Power books under a pseudonym, and they are fantastic. I was initially, like, when the first one arrived for review, I wasn't sure about the Girl Geeks title. I just was like, geeks? Do we want to call them geeks? But I absolutely love the explanation of what a geek actually is. It's a person who's highly passionate, excited, and deeply curious. You could be a geek about anything. Geeks care. They show up. They support the people around them. Geek is a self-described term, and I think that that's the important thing. It could be insulting to call someone a geek, but saying we're geeks is expressing it as a term of affection. I'm a geek is a term of pride. It's like saying I'm a bookworm, isn't it? You know, it's embracing that otherwise maybe not particularly nice term. But you actually really have, as I've read the series, I've thought the series title is completely perfect, as is Girl Geek Academy as an organisation. So there's 4 books in this series, and they've all got 4 characters in them. Oh, no, I can't remember the names of the girls in the series. No, I can't remember them, but they're 10 years old, so they're really, really good for girls in about grade 4 or grade 5. Chickpeas read the second one in the series and really loved it. She's only 8. And then Puds just read the 4th one in the series. She took it last night, actually, and she really enjoyed it as well. But these are, we've got a TechMates group at school, which is girls and a loved adult in their life that come along and do tech, coding, makerspace type stuff with Jackie Child once a term on an evening. And I think that this series is going to be great for them. Each series starts with some kind of, you know, really good nouns that describe what a geek is. This one has confidence, which is believing in yourself, your abilities and your powers. This one has got energy, renewable energy, and then it's got energetic as an adjective and re-energize as a verb. And this one starts with girl gang as a noun, a group of girls who enjoy hanging out together and have mutual interests, but more importantly, they have differences. They are a really great series if you've got girls who are interested in getting their geek on, getting their tech on, if they're really interested in gaming or technology or coding in any way, shape or form, or even if they're not, if they're just interested in female friendships. I was reading with Puds the other week, the second Davina Bell book, which I happen to have here, Corner Park Clubhouse. And I feel if your girls have enjoyed... That's what happens when you're on Facebook Live. That was my collection of children's teeth. Anyway, not broken. If they've enjoyed Corner Clubhouse, or if they like the Babysitters Club with the ones that have been done as the graphic novels, they'll really enjoy the Girl Geeks. They're an excellent series. The girls in them are all very different, but they come together because they have a common interest. And it's so wonderful to see Girl Geeks in a book series. I was really interested that they did a book series. It seems such an old technology in a sense to have a book with gaming and technology stuff in it. I love that they decided to do it. I love the way there's lots of text, but that the text is also broken up in some cases by video chat and in some cases by, I think it's email, but maybe it's like photo chat. So there's text, you know, it's fairly text heavy, but they're broken up with different forms of online text. And at the end of the books, there's ideas about other things that you can do, making robots. There's some stuff about the Girl Geek Academy and its manifesto, and it introduces some of the Girl Geek people. And there's, you know, just all different things. Actually, I really liked this one. This one was your future business card and designing your future business card and what that might look like. And you know, speaking about yourself confidently with what you want and how would you describe yourself in one sentence. So they're a really great series with some ideas at the back, introduces the people from the Girl Geek Academy. I just really like them. I feel like they're going to be very, very popular in my school, and I think the series of 4 would be an excellent Christmas gift for any little maybe 8 to 11-year-old boys or girls in your life. I know they, like always, you know, I come up with this all the time. People say, are they for girls or are they for boys? Stories are stories, and while these ones, you know, are probably squarely aimed at a girl market, stories are stories. And I feel like if more boys were reading stories with girls in them, maybe boys would understand girls better. And if more girls were reading stories with boys in them, maybe girls would understand boys better. We just actually need to look at them as stories, and, you know, all genders should be reading these books. Aren't they pretty? They're so sparkly. I love sparkle. And then finally, a young adult one. It Sounded Better in My Head by Nina Kenwood, which won the Text Prize in 2018. It's exquisite. See how I went all calm then. This is the sort of book I would be handing to any 14 to 17-year-old teen in my life for Christmas. Definitely getting a copy of this for my nieces for Christmas, or probably even before. It is just beautiful. So the main character is Natalie, and at the start of the book, her parents announce their impending separation and divorce. And she can't understand why they're actually not fighting, and she also can't understand why she didn't see this coming. She's also got Zach and Lucy, who are her absolute best friends. They're kind of a threesome, I guess. But Zach and Lucy have fallen in love, which makes it really awkward for her. And compounding all of this, she has been through the most terrible acne. She's been on Roaccutane, and, you know, it had gotten to the point, she's come out the other side of it now, but it had gotten to the point where she didn't want to leave the house, where her entire life was ruled by waking up in the morning and looking in the mirror and seeing if she had any disfiguring pimples on her face. And the way she describes this anxiety about her skin and her self-image and her appearance just is so, gosh, the voice of it is just so perfect. It is how I remember feeling as a 14 or 15-year-old. My skin wasn't even that bad, but I had some really dear friends, including my husband, Dan, had terrible acne as a teen and was himself on Roaccutane, and I had a few of my friends on it, and, you know, it did terrible things to your skin and your mood as well. But, you know, it was just so hard to get through those years where your skin was terrible and you felt like it ruled your life. This story has moments of utter awkwardness. It has feelings of, you know, teen loneliness and feeling like the one that doesn't fit in. It's about self-image. It's about, you know, all of those, it's just awkward. The whole thing is about those feelings of awkwardness, but also the friendships that pull you through those years and the support structures around you that pull you through those years, including beautiful family and family friends. I loved the depictions of family friends in It Sounded Better in My Head, particularly for my own girls now. They've lost their dad, their family friends, and those dads have become really, really important in my girls' lives. And, you know, I often say to, hello, Herb, Doug, and Steve, Brent, all of those men in my life who look out for my girls, I often say to them, I hope you're still going to be around in the teen years. It's got some really great family friends in it that the main character Natalie turns to, and that Zach and Lucy, look, all three of the characters talk to and interact with. It's exquisite. It's been, this and The Surprising Power of a Good Dumpling are probably my favourite YA reads of 2019. I can't recommend it highly enough. It is not a hard read. It's also not a particularly traumatic read, and I really liked that about it. It's not traumatic. It's not teen dramery. It is, but it's not traumatic, and it's just this exploration of those really, really tricky teen years and the whole range of emotions. Anyway, that's about it from me for today. I've kind of rabbited on forever. Probably nobody will watch this entire thing in entirety. So if you were just coming in on the end, apologies for that weird looking eye. I had a Christmas beetle fly into my eye earlier today. I've managed to fit that in about 5 times in the last half hour. Anyway, have a great weekend. Yep, I'm going to go deal with my Christmas beetle stung eye. It really hurts.